devoted academician, and great leader. She is an inspiration for all of us. Also, a very warm welcome to our participants. Before beginning with the session, I would like to request our respected Principal Ma'am, Dr. Renu Joshi Ma'am, to enlighten us with her valuable words. Over to you, ma'am. I guess there is some technical issue.
I think her video is not responding.
Yeah, actually, I guess there is some technical problem. Ma'am is unmuted. Muted, actually, sir. Yes, now video is responding. Responding, ma'am, please unmute yourself. So, sir, actually, our technical team is there to resolve the problem, whatever the technical issue.
No worries. Yeah. No worries. That's fine.
Ma'am, please unmute yourself. Yeah.
Am I audible now?
Yes, ma'am.
Good afternoon, everyone. And it's a matter of great pleasure. Today we are organizing this awareness program about the investments, and it's I think it's a very important topic nowadays, and it's everyone's concern for our faculty members, students, and for everyone, that how we can invest our money in a safer investment so that we can get the good returns of our hard-earned money. So it's a very relevant, very important topic nowadays, and I hope this webinar is going to be very successful, very knowledgeful of knowledge, and it should our students and faculty members, they will get the knowledge about the investments, and I wish all the best for this the success of this webinar, and I congratulate Dr. Kriti Saxena and her team for organizing this, and I heartily recognize on this event that he has spared time from his busy schedule for our faculty members and students, and I think this webinar is going to be a good learning experience for all of us. Thank you very much, and again, a warm welcome on this event.
Thank you, madam. Yes, I think, ma'am, with your due permission, we can begin.
Yes, sir. Over to you, sir.
Okay, madam. Thank
Yes,
you.
sir.
Thank you very much. All right. Read out by principal, ma'am, that this is a session ideally addressing the importance of learning a life skill called as money management. Now, the element of money management, or we may use a term called as financial literacy, is probably one of the least in the country, right? Unfortunately, the element of money management is typically not covered in the academics. We don't cover it in our academic books, right? We unfortunately learn it by asking, friends, family members, etc., etc. Only once we start earning our hard-earned money. We don't do it much before that. This is something which will help you in realizing the fact that there is something that we have to learn at an early age, and this is a fundamental skill. It's not something which I'll have to learn only at X point of time, right? So the element of managing our hard-earned money is important. I'm sure all the students who are here will understand that in case if I am dealing with my hard-earned money well today, right, it's an important thing, because end of the day I'm doing it for my money, right? You people would get up into some job, maybe join your family business, start something on your own. It depends. But end of the day, why you're doing it? Because obviously to add the vitamin M in your life. Hence, it's important that we are probably learning this skill at an early age. This will definitely help a lot of you to understand that in case if I'm dealing with my hard-earned money today, it is probably helping my tomorrow. There's a beautiful saying which goes, if you take care of your money today, it takes care of your future. So what do you do with your money today? It may be a smaller amount, it may be a larger amount, it depends. But there are certain elementary things that we need to practice, and these are fundamentals, right? As I mentioned, unfortunately, we are not studying this, but it is important that we learn about it at an early age. So today's session, for the next 45 minutes to 60 minutes, what we will discuss is about knowing money management, how it is a skill, how it can be put into practice, overall view as a money management, not only talking about investment in one avenue. Please note, let me make a quick disclaimer. The session is not promoting any financial product. I am not here to tell you have to buy this product or invest your money into that financial service. No, that's not the objective. As a mandate from Bombay Stock Exchange, it is to build a community of informed investors. When there are informed investors, right, the market is good, the investment cycle goes well. For it makes a lot of sense to be an aware or an informed investor, right? An informed investor is a protected investor. So if you are informed, it's for your benefit. If I'm ill-informed or misinformed, loss comes to me as indirectly all of are investing money directly into the stock exchange, but your money comes into the direct format. You should be aware of it. You may be keeping your money in banks, post offices, maybe insurance premium, provident funds. You may be parking your money in cooperative societies. Directly or indirectly, this money is pumped into secondary market or the stock market. You should be aware of it. Hence, the session talks about these elementary things, right? So during the session, I request all the participants to feel free to put your questions in the chat box. I'll be any number of questions during the session, right? At the end, after 40 to 45 minutes of formal presentation, I will be happy to have a Q&A session. You can put up your questions at that time. During the session also, you can park your questions in the chat box. Please do not unmute yourself. It may be a little bit of disturbance. Please use the chat box. Put any number of questions. I'll be more than happy to take them. All right. So to begin with the formal presentation, let us quickly check the history of Bombay Stock Exchange. Way back in 1875, there was an association by name Native Share and Stock Brokers Association, which turned out eventually to be the first recognized stock exchange by the government of India under the Securities and Contract Regulation Act. That was in 1956. Eventually, developments happened. The technology played a key role. It came into a complete electronic trading system. No more physical shares in the year 1995. Also getting listed on NSE by 2017. Right? Under the exchange, there is a fund by name IPF, Investor Protection Fund. Now, IPF is ideally created in 1986 to cater to two major things. One, to meet the claim of investors against various defaulting members. These are purely as per the guidelines issued by the Ministry of Finance. Second is to create awareness related to the market and helping investor community get educated. The one currently what we are doing is the same. We do this session for, let's say, school teachers. We do it for students. We do it for faculty members, employees of government organizations, clubs, associations, trade bodies, self-employed professionals like doctors, architects, engineers, all of them, because money is an important element. And if I'm aware of it from an early age, I can possibly make a right decision. Trust me, guys, this is something which nobody taught to me personally when I was graduating. I probably graduated like 2 decades back. At that point of time, we were having no idea what do we mean by money management. Nobody came to the college. I'm happy institutions like yours are taking this initiative and probably arranging these sessions for you, because you understand this from an early age. It takes care of your life to a great extent, right? So IPF ideally has two objectives. Now, when we talk about securing your financial, we do. This is a conventional equation. I'm sure everybody is quite aware. Income minus expenditure is equal to savings. So I have an income, I have a set of expenses. जो बच जाता है उसमें से saving या investment हो जाता है. That's typically how we look at it. A lot of financial experts today say this may not be the right way of looking at it. Personalities like Warren Buffett, Charlie Munger, Robert Kiyosaki, a lot of them, they say this has to be the change. Income minus savings is equal to expenditure. So what we are ideally referring to? We are ideally referring to a change in our thought process. Now, what is the thought process that we have been brought up with? Income minus expenses is equal to savings. Savings cannot be a variable component. It has to be a fixed component. Whatever income I have to safeguard one particular element in my income. It may be 1% of your salary. You invest 5% or 10%, but keep it constant. Ensure that you are saving and investing a fixed sum of money. Whatever remains, you can treat your expenses. There are many expenses which can be avoided. Please remember, there's a beautiful quote given by Warren Buffett who says, if you buy things which you don't need today, you will end up selling things which you will eventually need to make sense, and I can have a better post-retired life. So everybody will have a reason. You need to ensure what is your financial goal, basis which you have to go ahead and invest. So also an important element or a component called as inflation. I'm sure all the students over here have read about inflation. You are aware of inflation. How it pinches you, you should be aware of it. What inflation does to our hard-earned money, you should be aware of it. Because when you do financial planning, inflation is a key component. If I give you 100 rupees today and say, go ahead and enjoy your life for the day, you will probably laugh at me. Because you will say at 100 rupees, I may not get even 1 liter of fuel today. How can I enjoy my life? But if somebody had given me 100 rupees 20 years back, I was the happiest person. I would have gone out and had a good breakfast, good lunch. Maybe I would have seen a movie also and I would have come back. Still, maybe some money would have left. That's because the cost of living has increased, right? So today, if I go out and try to spend money, right, I will probably spend huge amount of money as compared to the previous terms. Imagine what will happen 15 to 20 years down the line. Today, the fuel may cost 100 and 203 rupees. It may a little vary at your place. Imagine what it will be after 15 to 20 years. Maybe we will spend 200 rupees for one liter of fuel. Maybe we will spend more money on our technology, right? Today, all of you are using your smartphones to log into this session. I am very sure the next year you will not use the same technology. You will not have the same device in your hand. That's for sure. Because everybody wishes to upgrade. That's lifestyle related inflation. There's nothing wrong in that. It is certainly we wish to do it and it happens. Inflation is a demon. We cannot control it. You and me or nobody on earth can control inflation. It's an external force. We have to safeguard our money against this. So if you are thinking of safeguarding your money, please do not forget inflation. Inflation is a demon which is always there with us, which keeps on growing and we cannot do anything about it. What is the typical way we save? Traditionally, let's take a traditional example of keeping money in banks. Fixed deposit. FD is the most convenient. Let me take this example of a calculation to understand how this may be useful or may not be useful. Let's say I'm keeping 1 lakh rupees in FD. The bank is offering me 6.5% rate of interest. Some banks may be a little more, some may be less. This is an aggregate. I earn 6,500 rupees as interest on that 1 lakh rupees kept for 360. For example purpose, we have taken the tax bracket in which I come as 30%. It may be more or less, but this is an example taken. Once the tax gets deducted, there is a specific amount left out of the interest. Now let's come down to the inflation part. For example purpose, we have taken inflation as 7%. It can be more, it can be less, it keeps on fluctuating. It can be 6.5, it can be 7.5 also. 7 is an aggregate that we have taken. The 7% inflation impact on our money will reduce the value of this currency to close by 7,000 rupees in 1 year time. So the value of the invested amount comes down to 97,664 after 1 year. Right? It means what? If I am probably relying upon an avenue like fixed deposit, which giving me a return lesser than the inflation rate, it is technically wrong. It is technically poor for me because the value of this currency is coming down. It's not beating the inflation. It is getting beaten by the inflation. Let's say I am continuing my FD for next 15 years. 6.5%, 7% inflation. I continue with the same. The inflation is probably going more than the rate of return. So I can possibly not bet on this for a long time. Probably think of other avenues of investing because this is not helping me. This is probably making me more poorer in technical terms. So always remember one essential mantra of money management. The rate of return of investment should be more than the rate of inflation, always. This is on the long-term basis. Maybe you want to keep a short term, maybe for 3 months or 6 months. Maybe your FD will work. You may take care of your operational expenses. But if you have an vision or if you have a financial plan of buying a expensive car, building an asset, having a post-retired life lavishly, maybe these avenues will never help because these are not good on a long-term basis. Let's all recollect what Albert Einstein said about the power of compounding. It's the 8th wonder in the world. So there are simple interest, there is a compound interest. Both are different ways of calculating, right? One who understands it will earn from it. Who is not aware of it will definitely pay for it. That's the magic of compounding. So if I'm aware, wherever I'm investing, I may invest it in banks, post offices, government securities, share market, property, real estate, gold, commodity market. Let me invest anywhere. How are the returns coming to me? I should be aware of it. It's my money. It's my hard-earned money. Nobody else will take care of it. It's my responsibility to take care of it. So am I aware what are the returns that I'm getting? If yes, then I should understand the power or the benefit of compounding. And which is the way in which I can get this benefit, where I can do it. One standard example is equity. So when we say equity, what am I referring to? I am ideally referring to an element like shares or share market. Now, this is an example taken of money invested into equity giving a return of 12%. All right. Now, equity can give me 8, 9, 10%, 12%, even 15% varies. But on a long-term basis, I can bet on equity because it can deliver a very good return. A 12% return on my money invested of same 1 lakh rupees for the next 15 years will help me create a corpus of more than 8 lakhs. Whereas the inflation of 7% is way less. So equity can be a very good option for me to invest on a long-term basis, right? It will definitely add value to me. This is one of the important elements of knowing how I can manage my hard-earned money, right? If you see the overall return of Sensex, we are talking about the Sensex of Bombay Stock Exchange, right? In the last 3 to 4 decades, if you see the overall return that has come, it's almost compounding to 17%, more than 16%. And it is an exceptionally good return if you ask me. Some of the students over here can ask, during this period, the Sensex came down, the markets crashed, a lot of people lost their money. True, but if I'm looking at a long-term basis, let's say if I'd invested 1 lakh rupees in the stock exchange, let's say in the year 2000, 20 years down the line, I would have probably made very good return in spite of these downfalls. Why? Because I'm looking at a long-term thing. I am probably an investor who will wait for a longer time, right? Now, a lot of students over here may say, or participants may say, share market or stock market is very tedious. बहुत technical है, समझ में नहीं आता है, and there is a lot of risk. People have invested and they have burnt their fingers. उनका पैसा डूब गया है. Why should I take the risk? True, there are avenues today available for students where you can invest into equity indirectly. We call it as mutual funds. So mutual fund is one avenue where I can put my hard-earned money. There is a fund manager who will probably manage my money. How does typically mutual fund work? First, the very basic. Mutual fund is a trust. It's registered as a trust. All right. SEBI overlooks it. When I am investing my money into a mutual fund, so investors like me, somebody may invest 500 rupees, somebody may invest 5,000 rupees. Depends. This money is taken care by a fund manager in a mutual fund company. The fund manager is an expert. The fund manager does a lot of research, does a lot of study. The fund managers will take a cautious decision where to reinvest this money. So based on their research, they will reinvest our money into various platforms, various securities, which helps in generating the return which is passed back to the investors. This is typically how a mutual fund works. When we talk about mutual fund, there are ideally some features which are useful or beneficial for a lot of investors. First and foremost, it gives a very good return on a long-term basis. You can probably sit and Google for the last 20 years, how many mutual funds have given a negative return. You may possibly not find a single one. All of them have been managed very well, right? Plus, the returns are also exceptionally good. The compounding comes into picture, right? 10%, 12% compounding return is good way of making wealth investing into these avenues. Second, I have an opportunity to invest and withdraw at any given point of time. There is no restriction over here. That's called liquidity. I can invest today. Maybe after 6 days, I have some emergency. I will stop. I can withdraw my money. After 6 weeks, 6 months, 6 years, or 60 years. Choice is mine. I can go for a complete withdrawal. I can possibly go for a partial withdrawal. Mutual fund has that option of liquidity. Plus, one of the key factors is I can start investing a very small amount. There is not a requirement that I have to invest lakhs of rupees into it. No, I can start with 500 rupees a month. That's what I said. Today, I see a lot of students investing monthly through the SIP mode, systematic investment plan. Because they know if I'm investing, I'm probably getting a return on equity on a long-term basis. So I can start with a small amount. Eventually, I can increase it. Last but not the least, I can invest into mutual funds based on my risk appetite. So everybody cannot invest into equity. So if anybody says one person can invest into equity, all the others can also invest into equity, that's wrong. That's not the right way. Every individual will have a different ability to take a risk. When I was probably 21, 22, I would have taken a larger risk. Today, I may not be in a position to do it because my family is more dependent on my income. Hence, I'll have to be a little conservative. Mutual funds give an option to invest into high risk, moderate risk, or low risk. Choice is mine as an investor. Mutual funds gives me that option. When I am probably investing into these avenues, Please do not invest blindly because somebody is saying it to you. Don't do that. Understand what is mutual fund. Do a quick check. What are the returns over a period of time? What is the conditions applicable? What are the expenses ratio? What is the overall portfolio of the fund? Where the money gets reinvested? Who is the fund manager? How has been their performance? Each and everything is visible to the investors before you invest. There's no hide and seek business over here. The regulator makes it mandatory for all the mutual fund companies to disclose all these elements right before the investment is made. So it is my effort, my responsibility rather as an investor to study these things, clarify the things with the mutual fund company, and then go ahead and invest, right? So those who wish to probably know or study a little bit more about mutual funds or the investment things, these are 3 quick websites that I can refer. These are not the only ones, there are many others, but you can definitely refer them. ValueResearchOnline.com, Morningstar.in, MoneyControl.com can give you very beautiful elements of investing, knowing the investment, knowing the markets, how they perform, the technical aspects. In case if you understand, well and good. If you not, then definitely out of these websites, right? Now, when I talk about risk categories, there are broadly 3. High risk, medium risk, low risk. Somebody can take a higher risk, somebody wishes to take a lower risk. Somebody may go for a moderate risk. Equity is higher risk, debt is lower risk. Hybrid is a combination of both, right? So as an investor, I should be aware how much risk I can take. Because my friend is investing in equity, even should I do the same? No. Somebody is investing into debt, should I follow him? Answer may be no, because I'll have to understand individually what is my risk appetite. So there are various categories in mutual funds. Now remember, these categories are being created not to confuse the investor. The categories are created to help the investor understand what type of funds are these and how your money is getting invested. Now, for example, liquid funds, short-term, credit opportunities, these are basically those which have lower risk. Then we come into moderate risk like income fund, balance fund. ELSS is basically for those who wish to save tax, right? ELSS stands for Equity Linked Saving Schemes. So ELSS is something where I may possibly invest my money and get a tax exemption. So I can claim this tax exemption under Section 80C of the Income Tax Act when I'm filing my returns. Then comes equity, higher risk. Equity diversified, mid cap, small cap. These are typically high risk entities, right? So if you wish to invest into higher risk or moderate risk or lower risk, certainly the choice is yours. But remember, wherever you're doing, you should be aware of these things and only then you go ahead and invest. A quick screenshot of, depending on your financial goal, can be short term, medium term, or very long term. These are ideally the types of funds which can be recommended in case if you wish to meet your financial goals. I'm keeping this slide, let's say for 15-20 seconds for your understanding. I'm sure they are self-explanatory in nature. All right, so read them. You may have your financial goals written over here. Somebody wants to buy a car, somebody wants to save money for your children's education purpose, or a dream house, a vacation, or saving money for your post-retired life, etc. You can read them once. You have any questions and queries, please feel free to put them in the chat box. All right, in case of no questions coming up, I think I will move ahead with the element of understanding SIP, systematic investment plan. It is just like, RD, recurring deposit in a bank. What is the advantage that I get by investing on a monthly basis? First, it builds discipline, right? In case if I'm having this discipline of saving, investing money on a monthly basis, it's a very great thing, because this is something which is important for each one of us to build this habit of investing, not just merely saving. It is investing. Plus, I can take the benefit of compounding. Now, how does it work? Let me quickly show you a mathematical calculation for here. Here, we have taken an example of somebody investing 1000 rupees per month. So you can invest into, let's say, debt, or you can invest into a balanced, that is moderate, or equity, which is higher risk. Remember the thumb rule. High risk is equal to higher return, low risk is equal to lower return. Moderate risk is equal to moderate return. So if I invest into low risk, I cannot expect 10-12% return. It can be less. Balanced is around 8-9%. Equity, high risk, can give me 10%, 11, 12, even 15%. Depends. All right. So let's say I'm investing 1000 rupees per month. I started investing from the age of 25. I do it till the age of 50. All right. So at the age of 25, if I'm investing precisely 3 lakh rupees. With a 12% return, I'll be able to make a corpus of almost 17 lakhs. That's compounding. Now, try and understand or observe the last 3 rows. The amount of return that will come after every 5 years will become much more as compared to the previous rows. That's where compounding works. Compounding needs time, not only the money. So if I'm investing for 5 years early or maybe 10 years early, it is giving me a great opportunity, right? There was a beautiful example which you can probably Google and get it. In case if I wish to invest something on the name of my child, the day he or she is born, I can start an SIP of 500 rupees only, not more. You can start with also 500 rupees. Invest till he or she becomes 25 years, right? At the age of 25, I tell them, you continue this SIP, do not break it. Continue that cycle of another 500 rupees for next 25 years, till he or she becomes 50 years. Trust me, this 500 rupees at even a 10 to 12% return will turn out to become 1 crore for that individual by the time he or she is 50 years. This is possibly the gift that I can give, and this is the power or the benefit of compounding. So when we are investing into an avenue which requires time frame, I am definitely going to make a good return on a long-term basis. This is the power of compounding that we should be aware as money managers. Now, let's say somebody starts 5,000 rupees. There are many people who are investing even 10,000 rupees also. If I am investing 5,000 rupees per month for 25 years and the equity performs at 12 to 13% return, I can make close to 1 crore as my fund value. That's very much possible. Now, there may be some participants who are here may say these are exaggerated amounts, are they actual? You can Google them, right? See a mutual fund performance of last 20 years. Something started in 2000, compare it to 2021, you will get the difference, right? You will know how power of compounding works for individuals, right? Now, this is something which everyone has to understand, that there is something called as power of compounding, and I may possibly take an benefit of investing into it. All right. There may be some participants over here who may ask, what is the right age to start investing? Is today or tomorrow or day after tomorrow? Now, this was a beautiful research which was conducted, wherein example was taken of 1,000 rupees to be invested per month till you attain the age of 60. Okay. So let's say somebody starts from the age of 25, somebody starts from the age of 26, somebody is 27, 28. Now, if a delay of 3 years in the start will possibly give an impact of almost 35%. So your overall fund value will come down by 35% only by a 3-year delay. Now, you may say 3 years is a very short term, how it can impact so much? The idea over here is 3 years is at initial time. But if you look at the next 30 to 35 years, it becomes compounding. There is where the impact will come. So 1,000 rupees invested, 15% per annum is a return. I can make more than 1 crore as the fund value by the time I'm 60. But if I delay it by 1 year or 2 years or 3 years, it will come down to this extent. So if you calculate the overall value, it is coming down by almost 35%. That's the impact of investing late. So please remember, the sooner you start, the better it is. All right. Now, this is a quick quiz for all the participants out here. I want you guys to understand this scenario and give me your answers. Okay, there are 2 friends, Raj and Ajay. Both wish to retire by the age of 55. So they start investing in an SIP. Raj starts investing 10,000 rupees per month. He is investing for 30 years till he reaches 55. He is getting a return at 12% per annum. Okay? Then there is Ajay. Ajay is investing 25,000 rupees. Okay, per month. But he starts from the age of 40. So he's investing for precisely 15 years. He also gets the same return of 12%. Now the question is, among both of them, who will have a larger fund value at the time of 55 age? Whether it will be Raj or Ajay. I want you guys to give me your answer in the chat box. Please just put the name Raj or Ajay. I'll wait for your answers. All right. Almost all of them have given the answer as Raj. Nobody has voted for his friend. That's good. So what's the amount of fund? Can anybody guess? He is investing 10,000 for 30 years. So what can be the fund value? Can anybody guess? What can be the fund value of Raj and Ajay? Make a wild guess. 12% return, 10,000 per month for 30 years. So 10,000 per month is, let's say, annually is around 1,20,000. So 1,20,000 for 10 years is 12 lakhs. 20 years is 24 lakhs. 30 years is 36 lakhs. All right. So he has invested 36 lakhs. At 12% return compounding for almost 30 years, right? What can be the fund value? Can anybody guess? Put the amount in the chat box. Make a wild guess. Okay, somebody says 50 to 60 lakhs. Okay, Raunak has said, how much is it? 7 crores. Okay, Raunak says 7 crores. Somebody is saying 50 to 60 lakhs. Okay, anybody else? Quickly. Raunak, is that the right answer or you want to give it a change? It looks like some mobile number. Okay, Khushi says 40 lakhs, 32,000. Okay. Aarti says 15 to 16 lakhs. Okay. How about others? Something 7 crores. Okay. Okay. Raunak says, okay. Pooja says something 5 crores. Okay. Raunak says, okay, you're putting it in digits. You can probably round it off and put it is around 33.5 crores. I'm sure I'm getting it right. 3 crores, 52 lakhs, 99,000. Yeah. Roshni says something 4 crores. Good. So amount of calculation done by all of you. Now, here is the answer. Okay. Somebody else has put something around 5 crores. Okay, Varsha. Here is the answer. That 36 lakh invested will create a wealth of more than 3 crores for Raj at the time of age of 55. Ajay, who has invested 45 lakhs, more than Raj, is unfortunately creating not even half of the fund value of what Raj has created. Now, what is the underlining thing over here? It is the longer the term, higher the compounding effect. So please remember, it's not the money that I'm putting. I may put more money, but in case if I'm putting it late, the power of compounding doesn't come into picture. Right? Trust me, guys. When I graduated, nobody told me that there is something called as compounding. Right? I was happy investing it in banks and post offices, etc. But I lost out almost 10 years, and after 10 years, somebody told me, no, you have to invest in compounding way also. So that 10 years that I've lost, I cannot regain it. It's gone. So ideally, my request to all the participants, whenever I take this session is, the day you get your salary, the day you start your income, start investing in a compounding fashion. You may start with 500 rupees a month. I'm sure everybody can invest 500 rupees, with your salary. Your salary may be a 4-figure, 5-figure, or a 6-figure. 500 rupees is possible. Gradually, you can increase it, but keep it month on month. right? Compounding will give you a great return on a long-term basis. So keep it. Let's say you have a salary of 25,000. You start investing 1,000. With the remaining amount, you can definitely make your living. No doubt about it. Start doing it. If you're doing it more, excellent. I'm really happy. But cultivate this habit of investing at an early age, right? Now, the next important element of money management is understanding the concept of life insurance, right? I'm sure most of the students who are here will be aware of the term life insurance, right? It is securing my life against a risk called as death. So if something happens to me, my family gets a financial benefit. So traditionally, when we talk about life insurance, there are some traditional policies, and of late, you may see a lot of advertisements coming on term insurance, right, or a term plan. You may see an actor coming on television and says, "1 crore ka policy, sirf 500 rupiah har mahina," right? So you get a benefit of 1 crore by paying an annual premium of 6,000-7,000 rupees. This is possible when you are taking a term insurance, right? Now, term insurance versus other types of insurance plans. So endowment plan, which is a traditional policy probably taken by millions of customers, right? Now, in case if I want to take a 6 lakh rupees policy, endowment policy, I'll pay more than 4,000 rupees as premium. This is for tenure of 15 years, okay? And something happens to me, my family gets 6 lakhs. Nothing happens to me, after 15 years, my family will get around 11 lakh change. Let's say I put a term insurance, okay? I don't go for an endowment plan, I take a term plan. Now, term plan of 25 lakhs, not 6 lakhs, 4 times more, 25 lakhs. I'm paying a premium of just 400 rupees, okay? Let's say the remaining amount of 3,800, I'm investing into a debt mutual fund. Low risk. I may get 7.5% return. So if nothing happens to me, right, I'll possibly get a return of more than 14 lakhs through the mutual fund option. Let's say something unfortunately happens to me. My family will get a benefit of almost 25 lakhs. That's the benefit of taking a term insurance. There is another policy called as ULIP, Unit Linked Insurance Plan, right? So ULIP is basically where I take an insurance policy and I'm probably given units. So that units are determining what is the benefit that I get. And it is kind of a market linked insurance policy. So 6 lakh rupees policy, I'm ending up paying more than 4,000 rupees as premium. Something happens to me, my family gets 6 lakhs. Nothing happens to me, ULIP can probably give me a return of almost near to 17 lakh rupees. Okay? Let's say I don't do that. I take a term insurance of again 25 lakhs, 400 rupees premium. The difference of 3,800 rupees, I invest into an equity mutual fund, not debt, equity. Equity has a potential to give me 12 to 15% return. So with that percentage of return in the next 15 years, I'll be able to make a fund value of more than 23 lakhs. So at any given point of time, a term insurance with equity related makes a better sense rather than going in for a traditional insurance policy. So think on these grounds of being smart money managers by investing it in such a way. All right. Now, there is an element of medical expenses or health insurance that we all deal with. Because of the pandemic, the medical expenses have skyrocketed. I'm sure everybody is quite aware. The unfortunate pandemic has probably devastated a lot of families with respect to their medical expenses, and they are huge. Hence, a health insurance is mandatory. It becomes more compulsory. Health insurance typically takes care of our expenses when I get hospitalized. Unfortunately, something happens to me, I meet with an accident or I have a health issue, I get a cardiac arrest or some problem with my body, I get admitted and I get treated. If I have a health insurance, I don't have to pay any money at the start. There is something called as cashless facility. So the hospital will get me admitted, give me the treatment, and they check what is my policy amount. If it matches, I don't have to pay any money. I just come out of it. Advantage, I don't have to break my investments. There is nothing requirement of breaking my emergency fund. They are intact. And I'm also getting the income tax benefit. So whatever premium I pay, I can claim an income tax exemption under Section 80D of the Income Tax Act. So that's an advantage for me as an insurer for health insurance. These are some of the important do's and don'ts that we should typically oblige when we are dealing with the markets. Most of the points over here are self-explanatory in nature. I'm keeping this slide for your reading and understanding. Parallelly along with this, the session is open for question and answers. You may ask me questions pertaining to these points. You just have to put point A, point F, point G. In case if you do not understand, if there is a confusion, please put it. I'll be more than happy to answer it to you. Or else there may be questions pertaining to our presentation, pertaining to mutual funds or insurance or maybe stock market. Please feel free to put it in the chat box. We will spend next few minutes taking up your questions and then we can formally close the session. Thank you. All right. Ujjwal is asking point M. Don't blindly follow media reports or corporate developments as some of them could be misleading. Good. So let me add a few elements to this. Now I have a friend who says he's been investing into stock market. He's been listening to a lot of market related tips. Somebody gave him an investment tip and he invested or paisa double ho gaya, right? Don't blindly believe on such stories, right? Somebody will come to you and say, we are financial experts, we are market pundits, we will double your money in 21 days. Risk is zero. 21 din mein paisa double ho jayega. It is definitely attractive, right? Don't blindly follow such information. Do a quick check. If you cannot do it, check with the broker or your investment advisor. Tell him, I got a message like this. How far is this true? Do some quick verification. You'll understand it is bogus. We term it as a Ponzi scheme, where it says zero risk and high return may not be possible. Your broker will always tell you risk is very high. Invest, your return will also be high. So please be prepared for this. So anything that comes on WhatsApp, Facebook, Instagram, you get it so many places. Don't believe such rumors blindly and start investing. You may burn your fingers. All right. I hope I have answered it to you. Ujjwala, okay. Point B. Don't trust any hot investment tips. I think I just answered that, Aarti. I hope I have answered it to you indirectly. Anamika, H. Bring dispute the notice of your broker within 7 days. If you are dealing with some broking house, you see some discrepancy in your Demat account. You have bought some shares, they are not reflected. You bought it at a different rate and this is some other rate highlighted. You bought the shares and it is not reflected in your Demat account. Any such discrepancy, get it to the notice of the broker within 7 days. You can get it after also, but within 7 days, there is a possibility they can act upon it and resolve your queries quickly. Okay. Varsha says, problem not resolved by broker, you can always raise it. Good. In case if you have a query, you have taken it to your broker or mutual fund distributor, they have not resolved it. They are careless to take care of your issues and complaints. You can come down directly to the regulator, SEBI. There's a website called as scores.gov.in. Let me put it in the chat box. You can make a note of it. This is a government initiative for all the investors. SCORES stands for SEBI Complaint Redressal System. This is an online mechanism. You can download the app of SCORES, available on iOS as well as Android platform, right? This is an online platform where I can raise my complaints and queries directly with the regulator, no intermediaries, free of cost. So if the mutual fund distributor or if the stockbroker is not helping you with your complaints and queries, put it in the SCORES website, SEBI will take it up. All right. Okay, H and I. Okay, I think I have taken it up. DIS slips. DIS means delivery instruction slips. These are basically forms which are used to transfer your ownership of the share. So don't use them very loosely because there is a possibility somebody may misuse it. So DIS slips should be ideally kept very carefully. They are like bearer checks. Okay. M. Don't blindly follow market rumors. I think Swati, I have answered it. Prachi, what are DIS slips? I think I have answered it. Where can we invest as a beginner? Good question. With low risk or no risk? Okay. Ujjwala, there is nothing called as no risk. Okay. There is a risk element everywhere. If you want to take absolutely zero risk, invest in bank FD or you invest in government securities or post offices. There is absolutely no risk. Returns you will get 6-7%, ideally not more than that. But if you say I want more return, you can start with equity, right? And at your age, you can definitely take a risk. Trust me, that risk will give you a good return. So you can start investing through SIP, open a mutual fund account, start investing 500 rupees. See how it works, right? If you feel equity is too risky, you go and go for moderate risk, which is a combination of equity and debt. Return maybe 7, 8, 9%, but you can start doing that. Okay. Option G, don't share your internet account trading password. Okay. The way, okay, somebody who has asked it, Tanu, I'm sure you will not share your, mobile password with anyone. You might have kept a screen, lock for your smartphone, maybe your Gmail ID. In the same way, you will have an internet trading password details, which you should not share with anyone. Somebody may misuse it. Okay. Priyanka says, is investment in IPO safe? It would not be a universal answer, but IPOs you have to study. Understand whether the company is really good, check the fundamentals. Are they really a good business model? If yes, you can invest. Recently, Zomato had come, Rolex rings. All of these have been at a premium, right? 76 rupees issue price. On the very first day, it went up to 125 rupees. So definitely it's a good bet, provided you study and fundamentally you are aware of it. Okay. Okay, DP. DP means depository participant. DPs are basically intermediaries, like banks can be DPs, broking houses can be DPs, which will help you to open Demat account. So there we mean by DP. Okay. Good parameters while selecting a stock. Very good question, Aarti. Remember these 3-4 points that I tell you. If you want to invest into a stock, first study the balance sheet. Are their profits good? Are they making good revenue over a period of time? What is their position with respect to their debt? Are they in a position to repay the debt? All the companies take debt. Many of them will have a lot of debt, a loan assistance taken from a lot of companies and banks. Are they in a position to repay it? Next, are they in a position to compete with its competitors in the industry? Are they strong enough? If they are not strong, they will fall. Study these. Maybe you can check for PE ratio, debt equity ratio. They may be a little technical, but if you are able to understand, study these things. 4 or 5 parameters, positive sign, go ahead and invest. Okay. DIS. Okay, Varsha is asking a DIS. DIS is delivery instruction slips. DIS stands for that. I hope I have not missed any question. If there, in case, sorry guys, if I missed any question out of scrolling through a lot of them, if I have missed, please repost it. We will spend next few more minutes taking up your questions. We'll spend another couple more minutes on your questions. Do not restrict yourself only to these points. Ask me a question related to the presentation that we had. I'll be happy to answer them. Okay? Is there a good online site where we can learn investment? Ujala, few slides back, I had 3 websites: moneycontrol.com, morningstar.in, and valueresearchonline.com. I'll take it back. You can make a note of these websites. Just a second. I'll show it once again for you. You can make a note of it. Yeah, here it is. You can make a note of this. You can visit any one of these. These will give you very good analysis of the points that you're asking for. Value Research, Morningstar, Money Control. Also, you can check for a lot of YouTube channels. There are a lot of YouTube channels which will explain you how PE ratio is to be done, debt equity ratio, understanding the balance sheets. You can also subscribe to those channels. There is good amount of content available on internet today. All right. Any other questions, guys? In case of no questions, Dr. Saxena.
Yes, sir. Sure. With this, we come to end today's webinar. Before moving forward, I would request everyone to switch on their cameras for group photograph.
Okay, there's a beautiful question which has come. I already invested in Access Focus, DSP, Flexible. What would be the next one? The Access Focus and Flexible, I think both are equity. In case right now you're 37 years old, I think you can probably go into balance fund, or I would recommend you something which you are tax saving. In case if you are falling in some tax bracket and you want to save, then you can go for a equity related tax ELSS, or maybe a diversified or a balanced fund would be recommended, if you ask me. All right. Yeah. Thank you very much.
Okay. I guess photography is done. Oh, okay. Please switch on your cameras for group photograph. All the participants, please switch on your camera. You have done? Okay, at the end, I would like to thank Mr. Suhas Rajput for their valuable presence and time. Sir, you very well said that this demon inflation is there, and I guess this session is really fruitful for everyone. It was a pleasure having you, sir, with us.
Thank you, ma'am.
I would like to thank our principal, ma'am, Dr. Renu Joshi, ma'am, for her support and guidance. I'm thankful for the participants to be patient and showing keen interest in this session. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you for your support.
Thank you, sir.
I hope the support would continue in future also when we'll come back
Definitely.
for more sessions.
Yeah,
I would like to
definitely.
extend my gratitude to Principal Madam and all the faculties who have coordinated for the session. And there were some students who were probably, checking if I could share the contact details